Hello and welcome to the Deep Dive. I am your guide, and I'm here to explore some important topics with you, slowly and very clearly.
And I am here to help us all understand these ideas. Today, I'll be your fellow learner, maybe asking some of the questions you have about the fears. Well, the fears many of us feel when we try to speak English.
That's perfect. Because today, our deep dive is made just for you, the beginner English learner.
Right.
If you're learning at, say, the A1 or A2 level, you probably already know a lot of new words, and you understand the basic grammar rules. You're working really hard.
That's so true. We study and we study, but then when it's time to actually open our mouths and speak, the words they seem to disappear.
Exactly, and that's the key thing we need to talk about. For most learners, the biggest problem isn't the grammar.
No.
It's the emotion of speaking. So our focus today is all about how to overcome those feelings of fear and worry, the ones that stop you from speaking English comfortably and, confidently.
It feels like a massive hurdle.
Yeah.
I think that fear is the reason a lot of people just stop learning, even when they really want to succeed.
It is the core problem.
Yeah.
It really is. If you can't speak without feeling anxious, your learning just slows right down. This fear of making mistakes.
Yeah,
It stops what we call rapid fluency. It stops you from learning quickly.
I can feel that.
And we see this struggle all the time with learners who write to us. I mean, think about Amara. She's a university student we read about. She felt so embarrassed in her class.
Mm-hmm.
She had problems understanding her clients on the phone. And she knew the words. But when a client spoke fast, her mind just, blank.
Oh, that is the worst feeling.
Right. And she felt unable to speak up or even ask simple questions.
When I hear the phone ring and I know it's in English, I feel the exact same way. The pressure just feels way too high.
And what about Lily, the accountant? She knew she needed to speak confidently in English to get better opportunities at her job.
Right, for her career.
Exactly. She understood that her fear was literally blocking her professional growth. So the stakes for her felt very, very high.
So if I feel that way, it's normal.
If you feel scared or worried or anxious when you need to speak English, you are absolutely not alone. It is completely normal. Our mission today is to give you some simple tools.
Okay.
We're talking easy-to-use phrases and some practical practice methods, all to help you overcome this fear step by step.
That sounds so helpful. I have to admit, I already feel a little nervous just thinking about speaking more. So yeah, I need that support.
And that's why we're moving slowly and clearly. We're here to support you on this journey. And, if you know someone else, maybe a friend, a colleague, or a family member who feels scared to speak English, please share this deep dive with them.
Yeah.
Sharing this knowledge can help other learners, just like you, take that really important first step.
Okay, I'm ready. Where do we start?
Okay, let's start with some foundational words. Words related to our topic. I think we have to understand the feelings first before we can manage them.
That makes sense.
So we'll introduce 4 core words. And remember, for each word, I'll give you a simple definition, and I'll repeat the word and the definition twice. Once, at a normal speed, and then once again, very slowly and clearly.
I'll be listening carefully, especially for the pronunciation.
Perfect. Let's begin with the feeling itself. Word number 1 is nervous, which is, very similar to fear.
Nervous, okay?
The definition is to feel worried or afraid when you're thinking about speaking. When this feeling gets really strong, that's when we call it fear. This feeling is a major barrier. It's like a wall that stops us from trying.
A wall is a good word for it.
So we feel nervous. Nervous.
How?
When we feel worried inside. It's a completely normal human feeling, especially when we try new things that are important to us.
Yes, I think I feel nervous because I worry about what other people are thinking.
Like what?
Do they think I'm silly? Do they think I'm not smart because I can't find the right word?
That worry is so universal. But here's something important to remember. Most people are actually impressed. They're impressed that you're trying to speak a second language. They're not judging you.
It's hard to remember that in the moment.
I know, but it's true. Okay, our second word is really the cause of that nervousness. Word number 2 is mistake.
Ah, my biggest fear.
And you're not alone. The definition is something you say incorrectly. It could be the wrong word, the wrong grammar, or maybe the wrong pronunciation. The fear of making mistakes is the number 1 reason people avoid speaking English.
The number 1 reason.
Wow. So a mistake, mistake, is when you say something incorrectly. And we have to remember this. Making mistakes is completely normal when you're learning. I'd say it's the price of progress.
So if I use the wrong verb tense, like if I say, I go home yesterday, That's a mistake.
Yep, that's a mistake.
Is it okay if I make a lot of mistakes?
It is absolutely okay. In fact, it's necessary.
Mm.
And we'll talk later about why we should almost welcome mistakes. We have to shift our thinking. A mistake isn't a failure. It's just a piece of information. Information that helps you learn better for the next time.
That's a much better way to think about it.
Right. Okay, so our third word is how we slowly start to reduce that nervousness that's caused by the mistakes. Word number 3 is practice.
Practice.
The definition is doing an activity again and again, repeatedly, to improve your skill. When you practice regularly or consistently, you start to build your confidence.
So it's all about repetition.
Exactly. Practice. Slowly. Practice means using your English often. If you practice, even for just 5 minutes every single day, you will become better. And the fear, it will become smaller.
So you're saying if I practice a lot, I will actually feel less nervous over time?
Yes, that is the foundational principle. Think about it like learning to drive a car. The very first time you drive, you're probably very nervous, right? But the 100th time you drive, you don't even think about it.
That's true. It's automatic.
It's automatic. Consistent practice changes a frightening task into an automatic action. And it's this consistency that helps you improve faster and feel much more comfortable.
I need more of that automatic feeling.
We all do. And that brings us to our final core word. It's the goal we get from all that practicing. Word number 4 is confidence.
Confidence.
The definition is believing in your own ability to speak or to do something well. Confidence is really the reward you get for consistent practice.
It's the prize at the end.
It is. So, confidence, slowly.
Yeah.
Confidence is the feeling that you can do something well. But here's the secret. We don't wait for confidence to just appear like magic.
We don't.
No. We build confidence by starting to speak, even when we feel nervous.
I understand. So practice gives us confidence. But my question is, how do I start practicing when I feel too scared to even begin?
That is the perfect question. And that's exactly why we're moving to our next section. We're going to give you a specific, really simple language that you can use right away. Language that gives you control over the conversation, even when your heart is beating fast.
I need that.
And just one last important note for you. All of these simple words we've used, words like feel, say, make, want, use, these are all high-frequency words. They're very common.
Right.
We're focusing on simple language because simple language is the foundation. It's the foundation for managing fear and for communicating clearly.
Simple is good. Simple feels safe.
Exactly. Okay, so now that we have our core vocabulary, let's learn some basic supportive sentences.
Okay.
I want you to think of these sentences as tools, or maybe conversational shields. You can use them during a difficult conversation to help manage your anxiety.
A conversational shield. I really like that image. Something simple to protect me when I feel overwhelmed.
That's it, exactly. And we'll focus on the most basic sentence structure there is. We can call it the I structure. It's just I plus a simple verb, and then the rest of the sentence.
I feel, I want, I can.
Perfect. This structure helps you talk about your feelings and your goals very clearly. So let's start with segment 1, expressing needs and emotions.
Okay.
The very first step in managing fear is just communicating that you have it. You need to be able to tell people how you feel.
That seems scary in itself.
It can be, but having a simple phrase makes it easier. Here's phrase number 1 for your emotion or goal. I feel nervous when I speak English.
I feel nervous when I speak English. Wow. That is honest, and it is pretty easy to say. I think I feel a little better just having that sentence ready to use.
Good, because saying it out loud takes away some of its power. Now, this next phrase is maybe the most powerful tool you'll learn today. It gives you control.
Oh, I like control.
Here's phrase number 2 for an action. I can speak slowly. Or you can ask the other person, can we speak slowly?
Can we speak slowly? Why is that phrase so powerful?
It's powerful because it fixes the single greatest cause of panic for a learner, feeling rushed. When you use this phrase, you are immediately taking control of the speed of the conversation. And that buys your brain time.
Time to translate and process the words.
Exactly. When you control the pace, the anxiety drops a lot. Remember Amara, the student who felt embarrassed because client spoke too fast on the phone?
Yes.
This simple phrase is her solution. It's a game changer.
Okay, I will definitely remember that one.
Great. Now, phrase number 3 is about your need. I need more confidence.
I need more confidence.
Now, we talked about this before. You don't wait to be confident before you start speaking. You use this phrase to remind yourself and to tell others that confidence is a goal you're actively building. You're starting right now, even without full confidence.
So I shouldn't wait for the perfect moment. I should use this sentence to remind myself that this is a need I am working toward.
Precisely. You build a house brick by brick. You build confidence sentence by sentence, and you start today.
Brick by brick. I like that.
And that leads to phrase number 4 about your goal. I want to practice more.
I want to practice more.
This phrase does 2 things. First, it commits you to the action. Second, it signals to your conversation partner that you're serious about improving.
And they might be more patient with me.
They are much more likely to be patient with you. They see you're trying.
I feel nervous. I can speak slowly. I need more confidence. I want to practice more. These simple sentences, they really do feel like my building blocks.
They are excellent building blocks. Now, for our second segment here, distinguishing emotion from situation.
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, sometimes you want to talk about how you feel inside, your emotion, and other times you want to talk about the difficulty of the task itself, the situation.
Ah, I see.
So when you talk about your feeling, you use I feel nervous or I am afraid. This is about you, the emotion inside of you.
Okay, I feel.
But when you want to talk about the difficulty of the task, you use the activity name. For example, speaking English is difficult for me, or learning new words is hard.
Ugh, this is where I often get confused and make a mistake. What's the simple rule for when I should use I am versus when I should use speaking is?
That is a very important and practical question. The simple rule is this. When you talk about yourself, your feeling, your state use I am or I feel, and then you follow it with a describing word, an adjective.
So, I am happy, I feel worried, I'm tired.
Perfect. But when you talk about the activity itself, the doing of the thing, you use the ing form of the verb, like
Right.
speaking or learning, and then you use the simple verb is.
Okay, so speaking is hard, learning is fun, reading is interesting.
You've got it. The activity itself becomes the topic of the sentence.
So speaking English is difficult for me. I see the difference now. I'm focusing on the challenge, not just my personal feeling. That is really helpful.
Great. Let's move on to segment 3, the key question and answer.
Yay.
When you feel that fear, it's very helpful to ask yourself, why? Understanding the reason helps you manage the feeling.
So I should ask myself the question in English.
Yes, it's great practice. The question is, why am I afraid to speak English?
Why am I afraid to speak English?
And the simple answer uses a special connector word for the cause. The answer is, I am afraid because I don't want to make mistakes.
I am afraid because I don't want to make mistakes.
Yes, we use the word because to connect 2 ideas and to show the reason or the cause. Just think of because as a word that always answers the question why.
Okay, like, why are you eating? Because I am hungry.
Perfect example. I eat lunch because I am hungry. In our sentence, the reason you are afraid is because you worry about mistakes. And this ability to explain your emotional state and its cause in English is a huge step toward confidence
How so?
because it helps other people understand you better, and just as important, it helps you understand yourself better.
That is extremely helpful. I can actually tell people why I feel nervous, and I can do it in a complete, clear sentence.
Exactly. Okay, now we're going to put all these phrases into action.
Oh, okay. Practice time.
Yes, this is the most important part of our deep dive. We're going to do 3 simple role-playing scenarios. I'll be your patient conversation partner, and you and everyone listening can adopt the persona of the nervous learner. We're going to practice using these supportive phrases.
Okay. I will try my best.
Yeah.
And please remember to speak slowly.
I promise to speak slowly. Our first scenario is about saying hello when you feel nervous. The goal here is just managing the conversation pace right away to reduce your anxiety.
Okay, I'm ready.
Hello, it's really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. My name is Saracen. My name is expert speaker's name.
That's a lovely name. I hear you are learning English. How long have you been studying?
Thank you. I have studied English for 1 year, and I feel very nervous when I speak English.
I understand that completely. It's a very common feeling.
I worry because the words, they come out too quickly sometimes.
I hear that a lot. English speakers, especially in professional settings, can sometimes talk very, very fast.
Yes, very quickly. When you speak fast, I have problems understanding. My brain, it needs more time. Can we speak slowly?
That is an excellent request, of course. Of course, I can speak much more slowly. Thank you for telling me what you need. That helps me be a better conversation partner for you.
Thank you. I am happy now that I know you will speak slowly.
Okay, let's stop the role play right there and analyze what just happened.
Phew, that felt much better. Asking to speak slowly really did give me a sense of control.
Yes. The focus phrase here was, can we speak slowly?
Right.
And we really need to understand why this one small phrase has such a huge psychological impact. Research confirms that the single biggest stressor for A1 and A2 learners is the rapid rate of native speech.
It definitely is for me.
And when a conversation moves too quickly, you experience something called a time constraint.
Time constraint. What does that mean in simple terms?
It just means you feel rushed. Your brain needs time to do three things. First,
Yeah.
hear the sound. Second, recognize the word. And third, understand the meaning of that word.
Okay, hear, recognize, understand.
Right. When people speak fast, the time between their words is too short, and your brain, it basically panics. You just can't process the information effectively.
That is exactly what it feels like. Panic.
So by asking the question, can we speak slowly?
Mm.
You should go. You are requesting that the speaker changes their pattern. You're asking them to create little breathing points in their speech.
Breathing points. I like that.
Yes. Think about it like this. When you read a book, the spaces between the words and the punctuation marks, the commas and periods, they help you group the words together.
Right.
When native speakers talk quickly, they often run all the words together without any clear punctuation. It's just one long stream of sound.
A stream of sound I can't understand.
But when you ask them to slow down, they're forced to separate their ideas into clearer, shorter groups. We call this chunking the language. They stop, they wait, and then they speak the next logical chunk of speech.
So they give me time to catch up.
They do. And that action relieves the intense time constraint you feel. It changes a frightening, fast conversation into a structured, manageable task. It's not just polite, it's a critical strategy for your learning. For Lily, the accountant we mentioned, using this phrase could immediately help her manage those stressful client phone calls.
I realize now that this phrase isn't just polite, it's a survival tool. It helps my listening skills because I have more time to think.
Absolutely. It helps you focus on the important words and the natural patterns of stress in English, and that makes communication so much easier.
Okay, this is very useful. What's next?
Let's move to scenario B, making a mistake and continuing. This directly addresses the fear of embarrassment that keeps so many of us silent.
Oh, this is a big one for me.
Okay, so now that we are speaking slowly, tell me a little bit about your job, please. What do you do every day?
I work at a big office. I'm a manager, and I help my team to finish the projects.
Ah, that sounds like important work. I think you mean projects, is that right?
Projects, yes. I said the word incorrectly. I feel embarrassed now. I know that word, but I still make a mistake when I speak.
Please, don't feel embarrassed at all. That happens to every single learner, every single day. Look, you said projects, which is very, very close to projects. I knew exactly what you meant.
You did.
Of course, because
Yeah.
of the context. You told me you were a manager who helps a team. You were perfectly understandable.
Thank you for telling me that. I need to remember. It's okay to make mistakes.
Yes.
I will continue speaking about the projects now.
That is exactly the right reaction.
Yeah.
Let's stop and analyze that successful interaction.
It's true. When I make a mistake, my mind just goes blank sometimes. How do I force myself to continue speaking like I just did in the role play?
That is the fear response. The mind blanks out. And this is where that simple phrase, it's okay to make mistakes, becomes your mental reset button.
A reset button.
Exactly. Why is this so important? Because the fear of mistakes, that primary psychological hurdle, is what forces your mind to go blank in the first place. We have to internalize a key truth about learning a language.
Then what's that?
Your priority must be to aim to be understandable, not to be grammatically perfect.
That's a big shift in thinking.
It is. Think about the sources we analyzed. They all agree that while grammar rules are useful, getting consistent English-speaking practice should be a much, much higher priority than grammatical perfection.
So being understood is more important than using the perfect verb tense.
In the beginning, absolutely. The reality is the majority of the time, people will understand you, even if your grammar isn't perfect. Your listener will use the context, the surrounding words, and the situation to fill in any gaps.
Just like you knew I meant projects because I was talking about being a manager.
Exactly that. So if you make a mistake, do what you just did. Acknowledge it, correct yourself if you can, and then continue speaking. This sustained effort, this pushing through the discomfort, is what accelerates rapid fluency. You must practice speaking through the mistakes.
And the grammar will get better later.
Yes. The grammatical rules start to sink in naturally and intuitively after you get consistent speaking practice, not before.
It is a massive relief to hear that. I spend so much time worrying about the perfect verb tense before I even start a sentence, and then I end up saying nothing at all.
And that's the trap. Experts confirm that postponing speaking until you achieve grammatical perfection is the #1 thing slowing down beginner learners. Stepping out of your comfort zone, even if you feel a little uncomfortable and make errors, is necessary for real immediate progress.
Okay, step out of my comfort zone. I can do that.
Great. Let's move to our final role play. This is Scenario C, building confidence step by step. This helps us manage our long-term goals and remember that we don't have to learn everything all at once.
This is important. It can feel overwhelming.
I can tell you are putting in a lot of effort to improve your English. Why is that goal so important for you right now?
Thank you. Yes, it is important. I work hard because, because I want more confidence. I want to speak easily when I travel next year, and I want to stop being afraid to ask for directions or order food.
That is a wonderful, very concrete goal. But when you look ahead at everything you need to learn, all the new words, all the grammar rules, do you ever feel overwhelmed? Like it's just too much?
All the time. Sometimes I see a thick textbook and I just feel like I will never, ever reach the level I need. It feels impossible.
That is a completely normal reaction. The secret is to remind yourself that you don't need to learn everything today or even this month.
I mean, it's okay that I learn slowly.
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah.
You can learn little by little. You can remind yourself, and you can even tell other people this simple phrase, I can learn little by little.
I can learn little by little. That makes the huge task of learning English feel so much smaller and much more manageable for me. That's a good phrase to remember for my own motivation.
Precisely. Now let's analyze that focus phrase. I want more confidence.
Okay.
We talked about how confidence is built. It's not some destination you arrive at. It's a process, and it's boosted by one thing. Consistency. Regular practice.
Yeah.
Why does consistency build confidence? It's because every time you successfully say one sentence, even a simple one like, can we speak slowly, or I feel nervous, your brain gets a tiny little hit of success.
A hit of success.
Yes. It says to itself, I survived that. I communicated my thought. And these small successes, they stack up over time, day after day, until the nervousness starts to fade away.
So, how do I know if I'm practicing enough? How much is consistent?
That is the excellent practical question that Lily the accountant needed to answer to get the opportunity she deserved. And experts suggest thinking about your study time in two parts, input and output.
Input and output. Okay.
Think of input as the cake. It's the foundation of your learning. Input is all the reading you do, the listening, passively absorbing the language. You should spend about 80% of your time on input.
80%? That's a lot.
It is. That's the foundation. Then you have output. Output is the cherry on top of the cake. Output is speaking and writing actively using the language. That final 20% dedicated to speaking is what makes the language come alive and really accelerates your fluency.
So input is the cake, output is the cherry.
Exactly. You can't build a strong house without a strong foundation. That's the 80% input. But the house isn't complete until you actually use the language. That's the 20% output. And that 20%, that is where confidence is truly born.
So my study time is 80% and my conversation time should be 20%. And I need to start that 20% now, even if I feel afraid.
Absolutely. Stop waiting for confidence to start speaking. You build your confidence by starting that conversation process today.
Okay, but where? How?
Great question. We've established that speaking practice is crucial. That 20% output time is essential. But many beginners, especially at the A1, A2 level, wonder, how can I practice speaking safely and consistently without spending a lot of money or feeling high pressure?
Yes, that's my question. It is very difficult to find patient people to talk to who don't speak too fast or judge my mistakes.
And that's where modern tools and structured methods can really help us. Let's talk about 3 key strategies for consistent practice: tutors, language exchange, and effective input strategies.
Okay, this is the practical advice I need.
First, let's look at tutors, the fastest way to conversational fluency.
Tutors can be expensive, though.
They can be,
Right.
but for the beginner, a structured interaction with a professional tutor is widely considered the absolute fastest way to conversational fluency. Platforms like Preply or italki offer one-on-one lessons with native speakers who are actually trained to teach beginners.
What's the biggest difference between a professional tutor and just talking to a patient friend?
That's a great question. The difference is structure, feedback, and a non-judgmental space. A professional tutor provides dedicated, low-pressure speaking time. They are literally paid to be patient with you.
That's a good point.
More importantly, they offer customized, structured practice based on your specific needs, and they give you immediate, precise correction of any systemic errors you might be making.
So they help you fix bad habits.
Right away. Think back to the fear of mistakes. In a casual conversation, a friend might just ignore your mistake because they understood you. A tutor, on the other hand, will correct the mistake gently, explain why it was a mistake, and then make you repeat the correct phrase.
So it's very active learning.
Very. This guided environment accelerates how you learn grammar and usage patterns, and it directly boosts your conversational confidence because you know you're building a correct foundation. In fact, studies show that learners who engage in structured conversation can reach functional fluency up to 3 times faster than those who only study grammar passively.
Wow, 3 times faster.
But like you said, maybe you can't afford a tutor every day. So the second excellent and often free option is language exchange.
Okay, I've heard of this.
Language exchange apps and websites are designed specifically for this. Think of apps like Speaky, which is great for instant chats, or Tandem, which uses a matching system.
How do these apps help reduce the fear I feel when I speak English?
They reduce the fear by making the relationship mutual. It's equal. In a language exchange, you teach your native language for 30 minutes, and then your partner teaches you English for 30 minutes.
So they're a learner, too.
Exactly. You are both nervous, you're both making mistakes. This shared vulnerability creates a really safe, non-judgmental environment. Tandem, specifically, connects partners based on shared interests and learning goals.
Oh, that's smart.
It is, because it's so important for a beginner. You start the conversation with something simple you already know you have in common. You're not starting from zero.
Safety is a concern when you're meeting people online. If I use an app, how do I stay safe?
That is a very valid and important concern that every learner must think about. We'd recommend looking for apps that really prioritize user safety. For instance, some platforms offer features like easy blocking, strong filters to control who can contact you, and options for profile verification.
Okay, good to know.
And finding partners through established networks, even simple ones like Facebook groups dedicated to language exchange, can also feel safer. You can often view a person's public profile before you agree to a voice or video call. My advice: start with simple text messages until you feel comfortable enough for a voice call. Take it slow.
Take it slow. That's good advice for everything we're talking about.
It is. The key here is consistency and finding a trusted partner who respects your need to speak slowly.
Okay, so tutors and language exchanges are for my 20% output. What about the 80% input time?
Right. Finally, we must talk about that 80%, how to make your passive learning effective and reduce your anxiety around listening. This is all about input strategies. We know that reading simple English texts frequently is crucial for developing vocabulary and building an intuitive understanding of grammar. For beginners, you should focus on materials made for your A1, A2 level. These are often called graded readers.
Graded readers.
Yes, they're special books that use only the most common 500 or 1,000 words, so you feel successful when you read them. You're not stopping to look up a word in every sentence.
Reading does help, but when I try to listen to movies or native speakers on TV, my listening is often much, much worse than my reading. I just feel lost.
That feeling of being lost, that inability to follow the stream of sound, is incredibly common, and it links directly back to that time constraint problem we discussed earlier.
Okay.
Studies confirm that one of the biggest problems for learners is not just the fast speech, but the lack of visual context and the inability to link the sound to the written word.
So my brain can't connect what I hear to what I know.
Exactly. And this is why using multimedia with dual subtitles is so powerfully effective for A1, A2 learners.
Dual subtitles, you mean 2 languages at the same time?
Yes. If you watch English videos or short clips or movies, and many streaming services offer this, turn on both the English subtitles and your native language subtitles simultaneously.
Why is that so important?
Because you are linking the audio, the sound, the visual, the speaker's face and actions, and the text, the subtitles, all at the same time. This process is called multimodal learning.
So the dual subtitles help me see the new word, hear the new word, and understand the meaning immediately.
Exactly. When you see the English text flowing along with the audio, your brain can synchronize the words. This allows you to chunk the language you hear by reading the synchronized text.
It sounds like it would take the pressure off.
It does. When learners in studies used this method, they reported that seeing the text relieved the panic they usually experience with real-time speech. They no longer had to translate every word one by one in their head. They could read the words quickly, Understand the meaning from the visuals and the native language subtitle, and then just focus on listening to the natural sound.
And I can pause and rewind.
You're in control. This ability to pause, rewind, and control the stream of sound yourself helps immensely with your listening comprehension, which is the bedrock of speaking confidently. Remember, Amara, this is the tool she needed to improve her listening skills so she could finally speak up in meetings.
So my 80% input time should include watching and reading at the same time to build my listening confidence. This makes perfect sense.
It does. Okay, this deep dive has covered a lot of material, all focused on overcoming that fear of speaking English. We really focus on simple tools and strategies that you, the beginner, can start using right away.
It was very helpful.
Let's just quickly recap the 3 most important supportive phrases from our scenarios. These phrases are going to help you overcome anxiety starting today.
Okay, the 3 phrases.
First, can we speak slowly? This is your power phrase. It gives you control, it manages the pace, and it helps your listening comprehension immediately by creating those breathing points.
My paraphrase, I like it.
Second, it's okay to make mistakes. This is your mental reset button. Remember, your goal is to be understandable, not perfect. Mistakes are essential fuel for your learning engine.
Fuel, not failure. Got it.
And third, I can learn little by little. This is your motivation phrase. Confidence is built through consistency and small steps, not by waiting for everything to be perfect.
Those 3 tools, they make me feel much more prepared. I realize that the fear comes from the pressure, and these phrases really help me remove that pressure.
That's the whole idea. So now we have a little challenge for you, the listener. We want you to use active recall right now.
What's active recall?
Active recall just means testing yourself without looking at any notes. It is the best way to move these phrases from your short-term memory into your long-term speaking confidence.
Okay, a test.
A friendly one. Right now, we challenge you to say out loud, slowly, and clearly. This short, emotional self-introduction using the simple language we learned today. Say it with us. I feel nervous, but I want to practice. I can speak slowly. I am learning every day.
That is a wonderful exercise, just saying those simple sentences out loud. It makes them feel real and achievable.
It really does. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. If this episode helped you feel even a little less anxious about speaking English, please share it with others who might be struggling and subscribe for more structured guidance.
Thank you.
Finally, let's leave you with one thought for your next step in learning. We focused on simple sentences today, your building blocks. But as you improve, as you go from A2 toward B1, you'll want to sound more natural, more like a native speaker.
How can I sound more natural if I'm only using these simple sentences?
Well, to sound more natural, you need to stop translating word by word from your language. Instead, you start to learn fixed phrases, whole groups of words that native speakers use automatically, like single units of meaning.
So you learn a whole phrase, not just one word.
Exactly. This is the idea of learning whole expressions. For your next step, we invite you to explore the idiomatic expression, go the extra mile.
Go the extra mile. I hear those words, but what does that whole phrase mean together?
It means to make an extra effort, or to do more than what is required. For example, Lily decided to go the extra mile and practice her speaking with a tutor to get the job she deserved.
Ah, I see. She made an extra effort.
She did. And this concept, making that extra effort to learn and use these ready-made multi-word expressions naturally, is the key difference between speaking English functionally and truly communicating with native-like ease. That willingness to go the extra mile in learning fixed phrases, that is your next big step on the road to true fluency.